talked about the sponsors that help you make this free and whatnot. But I know from events that I've been involved with in the past, especially in a small town in Eastern Kentucky, which is, I have some, common roots there too. I know it takes a community of people to help pull this together, but I also know that when you guys first started out, you were doing some things in Clay County, Kentucky that hadn't been done, like things involving alcohol in public and things involving some signage that played on your name a little bit. Controversy the first couple of years getting this thing started, wasn't there?
Just a little bit.
Controversy always creates cash.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Well, tell us a little bit about the challenges of getting this thing started in the early days.
Well, when we first started out, we knew that there was another MMF that came before us, who we love, and we went to them, and we kind of asked them to kind of take us under their wings, so to speak, because we didn't know what we were getting into. We truly did not. And they call their festival MMF. So we sort of adopted that we were going to be MMFers.
Yeah, because some of their committee members didn't like people hashtagging MMF,
right?
Based on that they had it so long, and we never really hashtagged it, but the people online was hashtagging it. So.
Yeah. So, thus, you might see the problem that a lot of people saw there.
Now, for the listeners out there who aren't connecting the dots, keep in mind this is a small town in rural Eastern Kentucky, which is probably has more Baptist churches and Pentecostal churches than automobiles. So
who would ever holler, Muddy?
There you go. So that's what we're talking
Yes.
about. MMFers not going to go over real well.
Yeah, we never thought anything. Look, I don't know what Jess thought, but we thought it was clever play on words, and we didn't think a lot about it. And we already had her pre-party over at Pat's Bar, and her shirts all set it. And people was buying pre-sale shirts that was on the line. But when that sign went up, you would have thought we'd have dropped a bomb in the middle of these people. It's like, have you not seen?
Like we were trying to burn the courthouse down or something. It was terrible.
It's like the Salem witch trials or something.
There was no ill intent from our part, so we didn't really see it as that.
Yeah, and then when we saw the attention, though, or I did, I remember the county judge at the time, which is a good friend of mine. He's not working anymore. He's like, Tim, we got to take that down. And I'm like, if you take it down, it's on your ass. You go take it down. You got a pocket knife, take it down. Because he would have got blistered, man. And then, when it wasn't just WYMT, like when Fox News calls, and then everybody starts kind of making fun of people making fun of the sign. Like Kentucky Sports Radio, and then Lee and Haley, was that everybody was like, all right, guys, there's nothing wrong with this. This is actually brilliant. So we felt brilliant. It still pissed some people off. You got to think, we never had alcohol in the streets here, but these same people will go to Dollywood and drink a gallon. The same pastor that hates me to this day I see him eating a ribeye once a week at the Texas Roadhouse, and it's big as round. It's this big around. He don't care about doing that big ass baked potato, but he cares if you drink a beer in there. So to me, it's not logical. To a lot of these people, it don't make sense. To me, it don't make sense. But what we've done is we have kind of changed the culture. We did this festival together, and we said it forever. Hey, this ain't for everybody. It's just like playing at University of Kentucky, right? It ain't for everybody. Some people. So if you don't want to be here, and this ain't your thing, the same way John would tell you at Laurel Cove or Tiff would tell you at Masters, don't come mess up everybody's good time, because this ain't for you. Don't come down here and stand and be miserable all day to look at us or look at a dude drink. This is about having fun. We have had less arrest. We've had one arrest, dude, since we've done this. And it was one of our buddies that we won't go there. But
yeah.
it was
not a committee member or anything like that.
We were doing him a favor.
We don't want to get anybody in more trouble, so let's skip that story.
Yeah. But there was more trouble started over a small protest that happened Friday and there were people on both sides of this political world protesting right here where we sit, and people go to jail, then they've been in 7 years at Manchester Music Fest.
Yep.
Like, we're not out here to create chaos and trouble. You don't fly in from Des Moines, Iowa to take your ass to jail in Manchester, Kentucky. That ain't what you're setting out to do. You're setting out to have a good time, have a couple beers, have some good food, enjoy fellowship with your music community. And I think, speaking of community, we both love community.
Yes.
Jess does markets. She does a lot of volunteer work on her own. We all got into this by being volunteers. Like, we just don't want to be stuck in the early 1800s anymore.
Right.
So we have tried at our best, and not just for a community, to help people's economic impact. We do over $3 million every year at this festival on economic impact for our town.
That's
And
crazy.
then, like, the numbers don't lie. The paperwork here don't lie. We see it. It's just still hard for some people to fathom
Well, sure.
that, and that's okay. I mean, we're not mad at you. We're just trying to help you.
I got you. So when I was a senior in high school, the local Methodist minister in Pikeville decided that he was going to protest Project Prom, which was the lock-in at the high school prom night. You stay in, but the reason he was protesting it was because we set up Monopoly money bingo games and Monopoly money blackjack tables and things like that. So he decided to do that, which we made endless fun of that guy. He wasn't in town very long. And then the other thing that comes to mind when you're thinking about small towns and sort of closed-minded thinking, I actually wrote a newspaper column once upon a time about a Baptist minister in a small town in Virginia, the name of which will come to light in just a minute. So just across the mountains from all of us over here in Eastern Kentucky. But he wanted to outlaw dancing in his in
Footloose.
Yeah, it was a Footloose thing. The only problem is the name of his town, which I incorporated into the headline of my newspaper column about it was the headline was "Dancing Leads Preacher to Pound Virginia," and so the double entendre there. I slipped that one by the newspaper editors. They didn't know what I was saying because they thought I was talking about the town. But there you go. That was fun.
I'll say this, Jason, at their former tourism board, that was my bosses, and some of the administration still there, a couple people, and our tourism lawyer, which we still have. They had to take an onslaught too. Our former mayor and our current mayor, and they've had to take some onslaughts, and they've stuck to their guns, and they've allowed us to continue to do what we do. I mean, we used to use some more stuff at the county on. They've kind of cut that loose, and that's fine. Like, we're not mad at them. We work with them. It's just to each their own. But like, it's not. This is something worth fighting for. It's something worth that economic impact. You lose this, then what do you do? And then don't complain about it if you lose it. I get a group of people like just a volunteer. Like, I actually get paid now through the tourism office. Her and 10 other people, they don't get paid $1 to do what they do. So like every time we have a little argument or even jest or somebody's mad, they're like, we got to do something with so and so. I'm like, yeah, we can't fire volunteers. It's like, what do you want me to do?
That's a great point. So
yeah.
Jess, touch on a little bit more of the other community that gets involved, because I know doing something like this takes cooperation from law enforcement, local media, business leaders have to get involved. The people who work for the city and the county. Talk a little bit more about the community that gets behind this thing.
Well, our community loves this festival. They look forward to it every year, and we have great local artists that come and set up. We have great food truck vendors. We have just like a huge, massive support system. So I definitely want to put that out there, that like we have more support than we do
Tractors.
Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, yeah, it what's the saying? It takes a village. We have our volunteers, and we have law enforcement, and there are many people that are in the official positions that support us and that back us up. We have a ton of businesses, local mom and pop businesses that support us with sponsorship.
And to be real, Jason, that was our hardest years was the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now people see like, hey, there's I don't know what they thought would happen. I mean, we'd had people tell us they'd be laying on the street getting pregnant, and I'm like, I don't think, I don't think they understood. And so now that they've seen this thing for a few years, and they see there's no harm, and nobody's trying to steal your children, and it's like it's okay. So like Jess is right. It's cool, man. Our community rallies behind it. They're excited. If you look at like our organic reach through our Facebook and our stuff, like our local people are pushing this out there a lot.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do it without our local people. And man, this is one of those towns, kind of like any town, like Pikeville, Harlan, Prestonsburg, Leslie County, you name it, that if we're down here and we're struggling, somebody local will jump in and just help.
Yep.
They'll be like, what do y'all need?
Yeah.
And they don't want a T-shirt. They don't want anything for it. They're just here to help.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got one of those communities, and you can't have a successful small town community without really good-hearted small town people. And we got them, buddy. And we got a lot of them, and we're grateful for them.
Well, this thing has grown, and I would expect with this year's lineup, and of course Bill Taylor blowing up recently, this event is only going to continue to exceed expectations. So what does the future look like? Are you planning more than a year out? Are you expecting to outgrow downtown at some point?
Well, those are things we have to touch on every year. Yeah. We basically start planning for the next one the day after we end this one. Like we're just constantly just hitting the ground running.
I mean, it's like, I was talking to John the other day. He's already like talking headliners for Laurel Cove, and it just gets to be a lot, and I have a lot on my plate, and I'm blessed and thankful for it. But and I've told her board somewhere down the road, I don't know how many years I want to do festivals anymore. At one time I was doing 17. Now I've got about 8, and I want to continue to drop them. But this one's like personal to me.
Yeah.
And like I just got to make sure that board can still do it, and I could still be like an advisor, but they could roll it on, and then who knows? But maybe I'm here 10 more years. I don't want to leave anybody hanging.
Sure.
But it's hard, man. It's like after every year we look at each other and we're exhausted, and then you don't want to talk to each other for about a week. You don't even want to see anybody. You sort of disappear.
It's like a band getting off tour. It's like, do not call me for 60 days or I'll kill you.
I don't want to see you for a while.
Yeah, but it's also a beautiful thing that you like the camaraderie. Me and Jess, she's squalled at me and I've squalled at her, but what that is that's family, and we've created that through our commission and our committee. And even if somebody has to leave for a certain reason, we've always found the right one to replace them, and that just fit right in. And it really does become that special family tight knit group, because it's sometimes you feel like it's us against the world a lot of times, and that's a special thing to have.
So tell people what they need to know about, first of all, getting to Manchester, because not everybody knows how. I do, but there's people who listen to this show that don't know where Manchester is. Tell people how they can get there and what they can do to make it a memorable weekend.
What's that saying? Like, you can't get there from here. you have to start somewhere else. I mean, we're right off the Hal Rogers Parkway, right before you get to Hazard. We're not in a terrible, terrible location, but we're off the beaten path just a little bit, like from I-75. But we always like to put a lot of info out there, because we have also been the victim of Google Maps gets confused about where to find Manchester too sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to like keep up with our social media and be really active with answering messages and things like that, so that everyone can find us and come and have a hootenanny hoedown, like I like to call it, on Labor Day weekend. But yeah.
Take I-75 south or north, depending on where you are. Get to London, go east.
It's 42,
and you'll hear it.
Or
just
38.
Keep on coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're coming from Pikeville, you actually go. What would you be going through Pikeville?
Well, if you're coming from Pikeville, you know how to get there.
Well, there you go. So you don't have to worry about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and you just take that. Manchester exit, man. On the only. I mean, listen, I don't know how long it's been since you've been to town. So, like, this town has drastically changed
It has. Yeah.
since the first festival. We have this new distillery going in. It's going to be their first tasting ever. We're on what's called Bridge Street. That'll be transformed, changed into Jockey Street. They're doing work down here every day. There's been some buildings tore down, some buildings revitalized. There'll be some work going on while you guys are here this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm talking about, changing that culture. Like, man, that distillery coming here now, it's kind of like the economic impact. People see it and they see the unique visitors. Man, when we started this thing, just having a beer on the street was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's changed based on, and I'm going to be selfish and probably braggadocious. I think we're the people who changed the whole dynamic and whole culture of this is okay to do this. You know right from wrong. You're an adult. It's okay to have a beer in the street.
Yeah, I can't
It's
argue
okay
with that.
to have your, yeah, and we all got kids, man, and I take my kids. They'll all be at Masters with me. They go to festivals. They go to Dollywood. They go to Disney World.
Yep.
Guess what? There's beer at all of them.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you both for doing this and putting on a hell of a show. I can't wait to come. I've not been, and I'm ashamed I've not been till now. I should have been there before this year, but I'm going to be there this year, by God. I'm going to watch all them folks, and I might even interview a few of them. You never know, but we're going to have fun down there. Labor Day weekend, Manchester, Kentucky at the Manchester Music Fest. It's manchestermusicfest.com. We'll, of course, link to that in our show notes and all that good stuff so you can get all that information. It's free. How can you resist? Just get in the car and go. It'll be fantastic. And Tim will put you up at his house if you don't have a hotel room.